So in this video, we're going to talk about how to set Yurbi up to use an SSL certificate. So up to this point, we had set up a user-friendly URL called example.yurbionline.com, and you can check out our prior video for how to get to that point. Our IT guy at that point went ahead and applied an SSL certificate to the server, and now it's HTTPS example yurbionline.com, but without setting up Yurbi properly, what's going to happen is when you gotta go to log in, you're going to get this nasty looking error message. You'll see the red bar here that talks about there's no endpoint listening, and it gives you a lot of other information, and you won't be able to sign in. That's because we haven't configured Yurbi. Now let's take a quick look in IIS Manager to see what the IT department did when they configured that SSL certificate. If you remember, Yurbi was installed on this default website, so I'm back at that location. What they did is they went into the bindings. So this is one of the things they did. But you'll see that now there's a binding. In the binding, there's an actual host name. Before, we never had to go in and modify that host name part of the binding. They also added a HTTPS host name and port as well. But the key thing is this host name, example.yurbionline.com, which is the user-friendly URL, but now it's added in the binding. So anytime that you actually designate a host name in Yurbi, then there's going to be some additional steps that we have to do to be able to log in properly. Pretty easy. What we're going to do is go back into that C program files x86 Yurbi directory and scroll down to that Yurbi Windows Service Config application.exe. We're going to right click on that and say run as administrator. You can also find that from the program start menu. And we're going to go to this web settings where we had looked at this earlier, where we changed the Yurbi directory to the dot here. And you'll notice that the host names here are all the server name, and they might even be local host depending on your setup. What we're going to do is whatever is in that binding, we're going to put in these host name settings. So I'm going to put example.yurbionline.com. I'm just going to copy that and paste that in the other ones. And we're also going to change the port because now we want to use SSL. So that's port 443. And I'm also going to, you can probably guess, I'm going to check these boxes as well. And that's going to enable SSL. Not going to change anything else with the directories. So just the host names, the host ports, and the checkbox there. And we're going to click Save. Unable to start service, that's an error message you'll get, but it actually is running. But what we would recommend you do at that point, let's go to command prompt. Not command prompt. Let's go to services, and we're just going to manually stop and start that Yurbi master service. So you'll see that it's not running when it made that change. We're going to go ahead and start it in this case. If it is running, go ahead and restart it. So now Yurbi is listening on that HTTPS example.yurbionline. So let's go ahead and hit the refresh on our browser just to get the most current IIS page. And now when we go to log in, we will no longer get that red bar, but login successful as we've been used to. So whenever you get that message and IIS has implemented SSL, you do want to go in and change your Yurbi application to have the host name. I'll bring that screen up one more time, go to web settings, and you'll see that we changed the host name, the port, and we turned on SSL. If you do have any issues or questions with this procedure, just contact us, support@yurbi.com.